The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good evening. My name is Ron Chuckett. Welcome to the program for this 27th day of December 2023. Hopefully you had a good holiday. I had a pretty good holiday, and so we're back at it for 2 days of baseball. We'll be with you tonight for Game 3 of our alternate World Series between the Cincinnati Reds and the Detroit Tigers. We'll get to that setup in a moment. Game 4 will be tomorrow at noon Eastern Time on Twitch, 24 hours later on YouTube. And depending on what happens in the next, are you quite done over there? Over the next few hours, we could go into next week. So following the 72 World Series, we'll do the 62 playoff between the Dodgers and Giants, and then I'm assuming in about 2 weeks, we will start 1988. But now on to what we expect to be a very interesting ball game between the Detroit Tigers and Cincinnati Reds. The Reds have played 24 innings and not scored a run. The Tigers have scored a whopping 4 runs in 2 games in Cincinnati and won them both. It is amazing. Both teams are hitting under 200. Woody Fryman, who had an earned run average of 206, gets the call in Game 3. He will face Ross Grimsley in really what is a must-win game for the Reds. If the Tigers win this, they go with Mickey Lolich tomorrow and possibly the series. So all hands on deck really for the Reds. They made one change. They benched Cesar Geronimo with the lefty Fryman on the mound, and they're going to go with George Foster in right, hoping that and Daryl Cheney gets a started short over Davey Concepcion. Something, anything to spark the Reds' offense. The Tigers, with the lefty Grimsley on the hill, will go with Tony Taylor at second and Mickey Stanley in center. So that's the setup for you. Woody Fryman on the mound. If the Tigers win, they'll be 1 win away. The Reds win, we got ourselves a series. It's a windy night in Detroit as we get ready for some baseball right here on Retro Sports Network. As Retro Sports Network presents the 1972 Alternate World Series. And tonight from Tiger Stadium in Detroit, Michigan, it is the Detroit Tigers and the Cincinnati Reds. And tonight's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And we are using Action PC Baseball 24. Oh, by the way, Woody Fryman, 32 years old. He was pretty much a waiver pickup from the Philadelphia Phillies. He made 14 starts for the Tigers and went 10-3 with a 2.06 ERA. Fastball pitcher. He pitched forever with a bad arm. That fastball tops out at 86, and a fly ball pitcher. .113 2/3 for the Tigers. 93 hits, 6 homers, 31 walks, and 72 strikeouts. The Reds line up like this for game number 3. Joe Morgan at second will bat second, or will lead off, because I can read. Pete Rose will bat second and play left field. Johnny Bench behind the plate goes third. Tony Perez at first cleans up. Bobby Tolan, really the entire Cincinnati offense in center field, will bat fifth. Dennis Menke at third will go sixth. Daryl Cheney at short batting seventh. George Foster in right. How you doing, pesky pole? George Foster in right batting eighth. And Ross Grimsley gets the call here in Game 3. He'll bat ninth and should throw about 110 pitches. Yeah, I'd like some offense, Andrew, for sure. Willie Horton is a 2 and a 5 and left as we set the Tiger defense for you. Mickey Stanley is 7 and a 5 in center with the lefty Grimsley on the hill. Al Kaline a 6 and a 6 in right. Aurelio Rodriguez a 9 at third. Eddie Brinkman at 10 at short. Tony Taylor at second for McAuliffe with a lefty on the hill is a 5 at second. Norm Cash a 4 at first. Bill Freehan at 8 and a 6 behind the plate. And Fryman is a 3 with a 947 fielding percentage. Again, in 2 games in this series, we've had a whopping 4 runs in 24 innings. Joe Morgan is 2 for 10 on the series. 2 singles, 2 walks, and a stolen base. And Fryman starts game 3 with a walk. Again, 57 degrees. The wind's blowing out to right center at 15. Pete Rose is 2 for 9. He has the lone extra base hit for the Reds. He had a triple in game 2. You need to have a home team hit a home run. I'm hoping the cards work. Fryman throws to first, and Morgan is back. Freehand's going to call for the pitch out here. There goes Morgan, the throw down to Taylor, and Joe is out. They got him. So a 1-ball count to Rose following the pitch out, and Morgan is thrown out. Pitch to Rose. Fly ball, left field. Horton will range over, makes the catch, 2 out. For Johnny Bench, who was 1 for 10 in the series. He's walked once and struck out 4 times. He hit 40 home runs in 1972. Fryman deals. Up the middle, Taylor has it behind the bag over to first for the out, and that will retire the side. Half an inning in the books. The Reds now 0 for 25 in scoring on the series. No score. Ross Grimsley, better known for his days with Baltimore. Scuzzy, what a name, is 22. He's an extreme fly ball pitcher, and the fastball tops out at 85. He made 28 starts for Sparky Anderson's Reds, going 14-8 with a save and a 3.05 ERA. How you doing, Tribe fan? 197 2/3 for Ross, 194 hits, 18 homers, 50 walks, and 79 strikeouts. Again, not a lot of complete games. The Reds were dead last in 72, and it got them all the way to the World Series. The horrors persist, but so do I. Did you have a little too much to drink on Christmas there, Tim? Here's how the Tigers line up for Game 3. Tony Taylor at second will lead off. Billy Freehan behind the plate will bat second. Al Kaline in right will go third. Norm Cash, who struggled first in the ALCS and now in the World Series, cleans up at first. Mickey Stanley in center will bat fifth. Willie Horton in left will go sixth. Aurelio Rodriguez at third will bat seventh. Eddie Brinkman at short. Okay, yes. Eddie Brinkman at short, batting eighth, and Woody Fryman, who threw 10 pitches in his half of the first, will bat ninth. A co-worker saw the horrors persist, but so do I, on a Facebook post and said it should be normalized. Now, read that in Vincent Price's voice. The horrors persist, but so do I. There. Andrews points out that Al Kaline had 399 career home runs, but never hit 30 in a season. Pete Rose, by the way, not a bad left fielder, an 8 and a 6 in left. Bobby Tolan, an 8 and a 5 in center. George Foster getting the call over Cesar Geronimo, a 5 and a 3 in right. Dennis Menke is a 4 at third. Darrell Chaney is a 4 at short. So they'll trade, hopefully, some offense for some defense here. Joe Morgan an 8 at second. Tony Perez a 6 at first. Johnny Bench a 10 and a 9 behind the plate. Bench and Freehan, really the two best catchers of the era, going at it head-to-head. Ross Grimsley a 7 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Taylor pinch hit in both of the games in Cincinnati and went 2 for 2. A 303 hitter coming over from the Phillies with a homer and 20 RBI. Grimsley starts game 3, ball 4. So Taylor draws the walk, And that'll bring up Bill Freehand. Freehand 1 for 6 in this series with a walk and 3 strikeouts. We don't normally show you box scores in the first inning, but just to show you how crazy this World Series has been. The Reds as a team are hitting 159. The Tigers are hitting 188. Taylor stays put. That's a line drive pass. Morgan into center field for a base hit. So Taylor already taking advantage of the bad defense of Darrell Chaney. I'll get yelled at for that. And there should be a card that's not there. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. I thought I had this fixed. Apparently not. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Oh, post-play outcomes. Oh, you know what? Oh, player cards. All right, let's change a couple of those. Let's see if that makes a difference. All right, Al Kaline, 273. He has 2 doubles and 2 RBI. He's driven in half the Tiger runs in the series. He's 3 for 11. Scotty just got done walking the dog in the rain, but I hope you didn't leave the cake out because it took so long to bake it. And I'll never have that recipe again. Big Dave, how are you? So Kaline with Taylor on second, Freehand on first. Grimsley deals, gets away from bench, and everybody moves up 90. And that is a wild pitch. Scotty loves these alkaline batteries. Okay. So second and third, nobody out. No 1-1 count to Kaline. Here's the pitch. He draws the walk, and they are loaded for Norm Cash, who really is overdue. He's 0 for 9 in the series with a walk and a strikeout. And Grimsley, whose job it is to save the Red season, is already in the frying pan here in the first inning. Oh, Jeff, some fog. We had some fog this morning. So Taylor on third, Freehand on second, Kaline on first for Norm Cash. Grimsley takes a deep breath. That wind is blowing out to right center. It's a tempting target if Cash can get a hold of one. Pitch to Norm. Fly ball right field. Foster over into foul territory. Makes the catch. Taylor's going to tag and score without a throw. So in the first inning, the Tigers go up 1-0. A post-Christmas fog. Aren't we all in a post-Christmas fog? Kind of like what you wore on Tuesday, going back to work with 4 others on your team with the rest of the team on leave, Tribe Fan says. So the answer is yes, exactly. So here's Mickey Stanley, who grounded into a double play as a pinch hitter in one of the 2 games in Cincinnati. So Freehand on second, Kaline on first, and the Tigers up 1-0 already. Grimsley deals. Stanley into right field. Back goes Foster way back there. And that is off the wall. So Freehand's going to score. Kaline is going to round third. Foster does not have a good arm. Stanley has a double. And the Tigers lead it 3-0 here in game number 3. And again, that card is supposed to pop up. Did I not do something in the rules? Arg. General. How do you get the cards to work? Rosters. Usage. Miscellaneous. Got the outcome box. Got the play analysis box. Fine. So the Tigers have a 3-spot up here in the first. Here's Horton, 1 for 6 in the series with a single. Stanley on second. Sparky's got to go figuring out what does he need to do. Horton laces this one into left center field. Stanley's going to round third. Tolan's got it. And there's a big old stop sign, and Stanley will hold. So here's Rodriguez, 3 for 10. 3 singles and 2 strikeouts. Dave's just here for the commercials. So Stanley on third, Horton on first. So anyone who's gotten the cards to work in the baseball game, can you give me some sort of clue what I'm doing wrong? Pitch to Rodriguez. Fly ball, right field. Back goes Foster, away back there, and it's gone. A home run for Aurelio Rodriguez, and the Tigers have a 6-spot up here in the first. My goodness. Andrew wanted a home run. Well, he got it. That's an upper deck shot. And the Lions lead the Bengals 6-0. So Sparky will come out and get Mr. Grimsley, who can't make it out of the first. And so I guess you got to go with Wayne Simpson. Just because at this point you're already down 6. What a start for the Tigers here in Game 3. Simpson, 8-5. Made 2 appearances out of the pen, 22 starts, 24 appearances, just 24. Fastball pitcher, 87, and a fly ball pitcher. Looks like he's got one of those airbrush Philly logos on his head. Yeah, Sparky's already gone to the Earl Weaver stash and smoked a couple packs of lung darts, and it's only the first inning. The rest of Simpson's numbers, 130 and a third. 124 hits, 17 home runs, 49 walks, and 70 strikeouts. And before the Riverfront faithful could find their seats, they're down 6-0. Here's Brinkman, 1 for 9 in the series. Bases empty, into left field, Rose into foul territory, and somebody coming over from the Ambassador Bridge in Windsor made that catch, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. That's a base hit into center field. So when Eddie Brinkman's getting base hits, that's, you know you're in trouble. And I did like, by the way, the new home run animation. Woody Fryman hit 125 coming over from the Phils with 3 RBI, 1 out. You're not going to bunt with a 6-run lead. Menke and Perez playing in. Fryman swings. Ground ball to Simpson, who's a 2 on the mound. Throws to first. And Fryman is retired. It is a bunt, although it is an at-bat. So 2 out. Where does the series stand? The Tigers have scored 4 runs in Cincinnati and won both the games. So they lead the series 2-0. And the ball game 6-0 here in the first. Tony Taylor walked and scored in this inning. Pitch to Tony. Ground ball to Perez. And Tony P takes it to the bag to retire Tony T. But not a bad inning for the Tigers. They get 6 runs on 5 hits, including the massive 3-run homer by Aurelio Rodriguez. And after 1, it's the Tigers 6, the Reds nothing. So Perez, Tolan, and Menke For the Reds here in the second, Tony P. 1 for 9. A single and 6 strikeouts. To third, Rodriguez has it. Over to Cash. For the out. Already a buzz in this city from yesterday's massive fight between Muhammad Ali and Joe Louis. My goodness, wasn't that something else? Bobby Tolan 3 for 8 on the series. He is their offense. He has also walked twice. The Reds are still scoreless in the series with 1 out here in the second. The Tigers now have 10 runs. Pitch to Bobby at ball 4. So again, Tolan is the offense. Menke 1 for 9. Has struck out 3 times. Base hit left center field. Stanley will pick it up. Tolan, a long look around second and goes back. So first and second, 1 out for Darrell Chaney. Oof. Maybe that was not the right move to do. Apparently Darrell's splits are there. Do your cards pop up if you hover the mouse over a player in the field? No. Yeah, I think since he needs to scrap the running game and start airing it out, I can click and get that, but that's not the card. You have something turned off. Well, that's a layout. So if I left click, those are the cards. But I don't know what I would have shut off. All right, first and second, 1 out. Reds trying to get on the board. Chaney pops it up center field. Stanley coming in, makes the catch. Tolan and Menke go back to the bag, and no one will advance 2 out for Foster, who was 0 for 1 on the series. He pinch hit in Cincinnati. Chops one down to Rodriguez at third and just will go to the bag himself and get Tolan there to retire the side. That's new. I hadn't seen that before. So, the Reds get a runner, a walk, and a hit. They leave on 2, and they remain scoreless for the series after an inning and a half. It's 6-0 Detroit. So, Freehan has singled and scored. He's 1 for 1. Wayne Simpson in relief for Ross Grimsley here in the second inning as the Tigers lead this one by 6. And Freehan gets hit. Bill just smiles on his way down to first. It's not nice to put a runner on base for Al Kaline, who walked his first time up. Simpson looking kind of scared. Delivers. Into left center. Tolan coming in. Bobby makes the catch, and Freehan goes back to first. So here's Norm Cash. Norm had a sac fly in the first to drive in a run, his first of the series. And Cash draws the walk. Simpson isn't going to be around much longer than Grimsley. Mickey Stanley doubled home 2 in the first. He will stay in the ballgame, even against the righty. Got him. A 1-2 fastball swung on and missed. So here's Willie Horton. Willie has a single and a run scored. First and second, 2 out. Tigers threatening again. There's a ground ball to third. Menke again takes it to the bag himself, so we'll see it twice in back-to-back innings. No runs and no hits. The Tigers leave on 2. After 2, it's still 6-0 Detroit. Could it possibly be because I started this series with the old version? Wayne Simpson, by the way, if he bats, 3 for 48. Stays in the game. Ground ball to Brinkman in on the grass. Throws it to Cash. 1 out. So here's Joe Morgan. He walked his first time up. Opening 9 for Fryman. 2 and a third. 30 pitches. A hit and 2 walks. And the Reds remain scoreless. To first. Cash waits for it. Takes it to the bag. 2 out. So here's Pete Rose. Rose is 0 for 1. Game 4, noon tomorrow, right here on Twitch. Struck him out. Fryman got him to look at an 0-2 curve, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Here in Game 3, it's the Tigers 6, the Reds nothing. So here's Rodriguez. Aurelio, a 3-run homer, his first time up. And that chased Ross Grimsley. Back into right field, Foster into foul territory. George is there, makes the catch for the out. Andrew, if you're still watching, I'll put this up again. That says the post-play player cards. That would. So that's where I have it. I changed the injuries or milestones. They're set for home runs, triples, doubles, stolen bases, great plays, errors, and poor plays. I'll change that back to 4 seconds. Is there something I'm missing here? I don't want the outcome icons. All right. We'll try that. Click to close. All right, Eddie Brinkman singled his first time up. 1 out. Seems right by the way you have it. Okay, I just wonder because maybe because I started this. Game 1 was with 23, and games 2 and 3 are in versions 24. Pitch to Brinkman. There's a line drive to Morgan, who makes a great play, and there should be a card. There's no card. And now, so that brings up Woody Fryman, who's 0 for 1. 2 out here in the 3rd. Struck him out. So Simpson gets through it. No runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the 4th here in Game 3. It's 6-0 Detroit. Johnny Bench is 0 for 1. Woody Fryman seems to be cruising right along here as we start the 4th. Ground ball to 3rd. Rodriguez has it. Long throw to 1st. Bench is running. It's a bang-banger, and Johnny beat it out. So that is a base hit. Yeah, there should have been a card. In fact, the game stopped until I advanced it. So hopefully when we start, well, the next thing we're going to do is that 62 playoff between the Dodgers and Giants. And then we'll get into 88. Tony Perez is 0 for 1. Bench on 1st. Not a threat to steal. Roped into left field. Horton makes a bad play. Perez digging for 2. The throw to Taylor is not in time. So that's a double. There should be cards everywhere on the poor play and the double. So the Reds have second and third. Nobody out for Bobby Tolan, who walked his first time up. And Tolan gets hit. So some tempers starting to get a little high there. That 3-1 was high and in. And the Reds have him loaded and nobody out for Dennis Menke, who singled his first time up. The Reds, in 27 innings, haven't scored yet. To Fryman, up the middle. Brinkman's got it. You're going to try it for 2. Taylor to Brinkman for 1. Over to Cash. They'll make that trade 10 times out of 9. So it's a 4-6-3 double play. But at 8:01 on this 27th of December, the Reds finally get on the board. And it took them 27 2/3 innings to do it. Here's Darrell Chaney. He's 0 for 1. Fryman winds and deals into left center field. Stanley moving over, and that will retire the side. Reds get on the board. They get a run on 2 hits and no errors. Bottom of the 4th here in Game 4, or Game 3 rather, 6-1 Detroit. So the 2 games in Cincinnati were shutouts. Mickey Lolich obviously didn't go 15 innings. They won Game 1 3-0, and they won Game 2 1-0. Tony Taylor leads off the bottom of the 4th, has 0 for 1 with a walk and run scored. Simpson almost threw 3 full innings in relief of Ross Grimsley. To Morgan, who makes a fantastic play. He robs Taylor of a hit. And there's 1 out for Bill Freehand. Bill has singled and scored. Has there been a patch, by the way, besides putting Koosman back on the 72 rosters? Pitch to Freehand. There's a ground ball right side for a base hit. So Freehand will reach, and that'll bring up Kaline. Kaline has walked, scored, and is 0 for 1. Simpson's pitch. Kaline rips this one deep to left, down in the corner. Rose will turn, and gone! Al Kaline homers to make it 8-1. All Rose could do is turn and watch it go. I do like the flashy message too. That works a lot better for me. And the Tigers ate their oatmeal coming into this. My goodness. Al did energize that one. 8-1 Tigers. The second home run of the series for the Tigers. Aurelio Rodriguez, a 3-run shot in the first, chased Ross Grimsley. So Wayne Simpson in relief. Here's Norm Cash, a walk and a sac fly. To third, Menke over to Perez for the out. Tigers, by the way, if they hold on to this 7-run lead, tomorrow at noon can wrap this up with Mickey Lolich. Here's Mickey Stanley. 1 for 2. Remember, it was a lefty Grimsley. That's all right. Display. Miscellaneous. Mouse over player pop-ups. Ah! You mean like that? Thank you. So 2 out here in the 4th. Simpson deals. Stanley into center field. Tolan doesn't have to move that much and will make the catch. Yeah, Jamie, it is still too soon to say. Our World Series was what, 5 games between Seattle and whoever the hell they beat. We did the traditional World Series, and Atlanta won that in 5. Yeah, they have, and the Orioles took care of the Pirates in 4. So yes, and all good series on paper. Houston, they did beat Houston. So we had a whole bunch of projects here. The only one that went the distance was the Tigers and the A's. The Tigers, by the way, have won 5 straight. George Foster's 0 for 1. Fryman deals. Struck him out. A 1-2 fastball in there at the knees. Brings up Wayne Simpson. I imagine the Reds will pinch hit for him. He's 0 for 1. Hal McRae's going to pinch hit. McRae 1 for 2 in the series with a double. But yes, outside of the Tigers winning all 3 here against the A's to set up this bonus World Series, they've all been relatively short work. Pitch to McRae. Ground ball to Taylor. Tony's got it. Throws to Cash for the out. Waiting for the Reds' bats to unload. Tony Taylor makes an error. There we go. And you can see Taylor's defense. All right, now I can change. So that went into the dugout. Now I can change. We'll go 4 seconds. Okay, here's Joe Morgan. Fryman, 18 batters, 70 pitches, 4 1/3. 3 hits, the error a moment ago, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. The Reds have left on 3. The Tigers have left on 3. Morgan's 0 for 1 with a walk. Fryman deals. And that's laced past Taylor in the center field. McRae will hold at third. Remember, the Reds had all the chances in the world in Game 2 and couldn't score. So here's Rose. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Fryman pitching okay, but he has a 7-run lead. 1 out in the 5th. Freehan and Fryman have a word. Some signs get changed. Pitch to Rose. That's into left field. Horton going way back. He will turn and watch that one go. So a 3-run shot from Rose. And it's now 8-4. And Reds fans are breathing a little bit easier. It's still a long road back. But there wasn't anything that Rose could do about that. Mr. Waterfield jinxing himself. You knew this was coming. You knew that the Reds were too good to sit there and just be stomped on. See if they get some momentum. Bench 1 for 2. Johnny has singled and scored the first run of the series for Cincinnati in the 4th. In the left field, Horton in the corner. That's going way back there, and that is gone. So the scoreboard animation comes off for that. So it's now 8-5. So I guess I got a choice. I can go with the animation on the scoreboard or the card. So the Reds have woken up. Sparky found Earl Chesterfield's in the dugout, right? Oh, that would make sense. The animation's only for the home team. The cards are nice. So 8-5, Perez, 1 for 2 with a double. So if you tuned out when the ball game was 8-1, shamey on you. Pitch to Perez. That's in the left field. That will stay in the yard. Horton hears a who. 2 out for Bobby Tolan. who drew the walk and has been hit by a pitch. So after 4 runs in the first 2 games, we've had 13 here in the first half of game 3. Up the middle, that's a base hit. So both teams now have 7 hits. Here's Menke, 1 for 2. He is singled and grounded into a double play. Fryman probably not long for this game. Laces that one into center. Stanley, does he get there? Dives and makes the catch. Mickey Stanley made the catch, and we're halfway home in game number 3. What an inning for the Reds. Don Gullett coming in. We'll tell you all about him in a moment. Well, for the first time in this series, we actually have a summary to read halfway through. So if you joined us late, here's how we got here. We've had some runs. You guys wanted some offense, right? The Tigers put 6 up on the board in the first. Norm Cash a sac fly to make it 1-0 Detroit. Mickey Stanley double home 2 to make it 3-0. Aurelio Rodriguez a 3-run homer to make it 6-0. That chased Ross Grimsley. The Reds started to chip away. Dennis Menke with a fielder's choice in the 4th to make it 6-1. Then Al Kaline, a 2-run homer to make it 8-1. Tigers in the 4th. But just a few moments ago, Pete Rose, a 3-run homer to make it 8-4. And then Johnny Bench, a solo homer to make it 8-5. So the Reds, their backs against the wall. Ross Grimsley retired 1 batter. Wayne Simpson, 3 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned that home run to Kaline. Woody Fryman, his day is going to be done. 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned. The 2 homers, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. So Horton, Rodriguez, and Brinkman to face Don Gullett. Gullett was kind of a swing man for Sparky in 72. 9-10, a 3.94 ERA. 21 years old. The future ace features the fastball at 90 and is a fly ball pitcher. He did throw 1/3 of an inning in the series. Overall, 134 2/3, 127 hits, 15 homers, 43 walks, and 96 strikeouts. This might be a short outing as he is due 3rd in the 6th. Horton 1 for 2 with a single. Right back to Gullett, who throws to Perez for the out. So 1 away for Rodriguez. A 3-run shot in the first, 1 for 2. Gullett, third base side of the rubber, throws to first for the out. So 2 away for Eddie Brinkman, who was 1 for 2. Eddie has a single. Just throwing this out there, has anyone ever tried to get a subscription from the Hockey News? Pitch to Brinkman. And he gets hit. Now, why in the world would you hit Eddie Brinkman? So Woody Fryman's going to come out. And Hondo is going to pinch hit. 1 for 1 in the series. Or 0 for 1 in the series. Brinkman on first. 2 out here, bottom of the 5th. 8-5 Tigers. Howard laces this one. What a grab by Menke to end the inning. Nicely done, Dennis. Nicely done. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the sixth here in game 3, 8-5 Tigers. Let's see. Can't use Coleman, can't use Zachary, can't use LeGros. Chuck Seelbach, because he can hit. I don't think I want to make a defensive replacement right now. So Seelbach can do both. He can close, he can start. He's going to throw a bunch of pitches. 24 years old, fastball at 91 and a ground ball pitcher. 9-8 with a 2.89 ERA. He did say 14. He threw 112 innings. 96 hits, 6 homers, 39 walks, and 76 strikeouts. He's not going to finish this game. Oh, actually, he's fine because Taylor's going to lead off the inning. Duh. But he might go 3. Darrell Cheney, by the way, is 0 for 2. Rips this one into right for a base hit. K-line is there, and the Reds have woken up. Here's George Foster. George is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. The reason why I ask about the hockey news is that's what I got Mr. Gardner for Christmas was a subscription, including access to their archive, which goes back to 1947. But they haven't sent us the login information yet, and we've asked them twice. And Ted Eulander, yeah, I'll pinch hit. So Eulander, 18 for 113, 159, no homers and 6 RBI. Cheney on first. Pitch to Eulander, struck him out. An 0-2 curve, got him swinging, 1 out. Now what do you do with Gullett? Not a bad hitter. Scotty is reminded of Inspector Clouseau. Is that you, Minky? So if Gullett hits 211 and 3 RBI, he will hit. Ground ball to third. Rodriguez. Taylor for 1. And Gullett's going to reach on the fielder's choice as the throw to first is laid. So 2 out for Joe Morgan. Joe 1 for 2. A what? A single and a run scored. Speaking of funny people, we lost Tommy Smothers today at the age of 86. Pitch to Morgan. And Joe draws the walk. So first and second now for the Reds. And Pete Rose, who hit a 3-run homer in the 5th, is now the tying run here in the 6th. So somewhere in the prairie of Alberta, Mr. Waterfield is finding that Canadian Tire bag he's been holding on to and is starting to breathe deep. Seelbach's pitch, and Rose draws the walk. So the bases are loaded for Johnny Bench, who is 2 for 3. He has singled and homered. The Reds have Gullett on third, Morgan on second, Rose on first, and 2 out. Seelbach was Billy Martin's ace fireman in 72. He winds and fires, struck him out, and the Tigers get out of it unscathed. How about that? I don't know what Bench was looking for, but he just watched a fastball go right by him. They'll leave him loaded. No runs, 1 hit, no error. And after 5.5, let that Canadian Tire bag go a little bit. 8-5 Detroit. So Gullett stays in the game. Taylor Freehan and K-line. Anyway, Tommy Smothers, a yo-yo expert. Go find some of those on YouTube. Absolute yo-yo master. And The last time they were on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, the Smothers Brothers, Tommy came out and did a very spot-on Carson impersonation. Taylor, by the way, 0 for 2, has walked and scored. Gullett starts the 6th. Ground ball to Cheney. Darrell throws to Perez for the out. Uhlander, by the way, stays in the game, and he's pretty good out there in right field. He's a 7 and an 8. Bill Freehan has singled twice and scored twice and been hit by a pitch. Gullett fires. Base hit into left center field. Rose will cut it off, and Freehan has his 3rd hit today. I like the Cards. So here's Al Kaline. Kaline has homered, scored twice, and walked. He's 1 for 2. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Reds. They've left on 7. 8 runs, 8 hits, an error for the Tigers, and they have left on 4. Gullett deals. Into center. Tolan. Wind blowing out to right. It's cold. Bobby makes the catch. 2 out for Cash. Norm, sac fly and a walk. He's 0 for 1. That's into center. Tolan. Second verse, same as the first, and we're through 6. So no runs, a hit. The Tigers have now left on 5. We go to the 7th in Game 3. It's the Tigers 8, the Reds 5. So Seelbach to face Perez, Tolan, and Menke. Tony 1 for 3 with a double. Struck him out. That's 3. A 1-2 fastball outside on the black. Big out. Here's Tolan. He has been the Reds' offense for the most part, except for that 3-run homer by Rose in the 5th. Bobby has singled, walked, and been hit by a pitch. Left field, Horton, 2 out. For Dennis Menke, who's 1 for 3. Got him! What an effort by Seelbach. So after loading the bases in the 6th, stretch time 8-5 here in the 7th. So after having the bases loaded in the 6th, Seelbach has now struck out a whole mess of Reds. And if the Tigers go quietly here, should at least pitch the 8th. Mickey Stanley 1 for 3, a double, 2 RBI, a run scored, and a strikeout. 8-5 Tigers here in the 7th. In the left center, Tolan coming in, 1 out. So Willie Horton 1 for 3. Willie has singled and scored. Good chance that Lolich will get the call tomorrow for the Tigers. And if it holds the next 2 innings, it'll be to win the World Series. Ground ball to short. Cheney over to Perez for the out. If Lolich can't go, Aurelio Rodriguez, 1 for 3, by the way. Big 3-run homer in the 1st. Tom Timmerman would get the call. Base hit. Pass Morgan into center field. So that's a 9th hit for the Tigers. 2 out for Brinkman, who was 1 for 2 and been hit by a pitch. Gullett doing some gardening on the mound. Popped up left side. Menke, is he going to run out of real estate? And somebody from Grand Rapids will make that catch. It's 0-2. Up the middle, Morgan to Cheney for the out. So Seelbach will at least start the 8th after 7 no runs, a hit, and no errors. It's the Tigers 8, the Reds 5. So Cheney, Eulander, and probably a pinch hitter as Gullett has pitched well. But he is due up third. Cheney is 1 for 3 with a single. Got him. That's 5 for Seelbach. What an effort. Here's Eulander. He struck out his first time up. So Seelbach had the bases loaded in the 6th and worked his way out of it. Line drive to Rodriguez, 2 out. So let's see what they do with Gullett. I imagine you got pinch hitters. You got Concepcion on the bench. Bernie Carbo. Bernie is 0 for 1. Went 3 for 21 on the real year. Bernie Strom just woke up. Pitch to Carbo. Fly ball right field, and that will hook foul. Somebody from Pontiac who builds excitement made that catch. And the count is 0-2. Seelbach essentially 1 pitch away from 3 fantastic innings. Up the middle, it's Taylor behind the bag, over to Cash, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Jim McLaughlin will come in to pitch for the Reds. We'll have a pinch hitter for the Tigers, 8-5 Detroit. So let's tell you about McLaughlin, 9-8, a 3.91 ERA. He's 29 years old, fastball at 86 and a standard pitcher. 145 innings, 165 hits, 15 homers, 49 walks, 69 strikeouts. Again, one of those Reds pitchers who could do both roles. He started 21 times. But for Sparky, all bets are off. And so who can hit a righty? Jim Northrup, who's 3 for 9 on the series. Remember, he started the 2 games in Cincinnati. A double, drove in that run in the 15th in game 1. A walk and a strikeout. 8-5 Tigers here in the 8th. Base hit up the middle. And after that scare with the Rose home run, I think the Tiger faithful have settled down a bit. Tony Taylor is 0 for 3 with a run scored and a walk. He's going to stay in the ballgame. Northrup not a threat to steal. McLaughlin goes into center. Tolan, well hit, but Bobby's there. 1 out. For Freehand, who was 3 for 3, 2 runs scored. Mr. Waterfield, is it possible for you to join us tomorrow at 10 Mountain Time? Or do you have to work? Freehand draws the walk. So first and second now for the Tigers. For Al Kaline, you are off. So game 4, 10 a.m. Mountain, noon Eastern. Kaline homered in the 4th. He has runners on first and second and 1 out here in the 8th. Up the middle might be 2. Morgan, Cheney for 1, and Kaline's going to reach. The throw to first is not in time. So that will leave it up to Norm Cash. Was a walk and a sac fly. He's 0 for 2. Northrup on third. Kaline on first. 8-5 Tigers. McLaughlin's pitch. Cash ropes this one over Morgan for a base hit. And Kaline's chugging for third. Tolan didn't quite realize it. The throw was going to be cut off by Cheney. And it's now 9-5. Dolly, the Tigers lead it. For Mickey Stanley, who was 1 for 4. 2 RBI and a double. Because he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. In the left, Rose out of room. 0-2 the count. Somebody from Detroit made that catch. McLaughlin trying to get out of this. It'll be Morgan, Rose, and Bench in the 9th for the Reds. Stanley grounds this one to Cheney. Darrell throws to first, and the Tigers need 3 outs. Ugh. And they're going to go with John Hiller, who has not pitched in this series. Hiller, 1-2, 3 saves, a 2.03 ERA. John is 29, fastball at 87, and an extreme ground ball plus pitcher. The rest of his numbers, 44 1/3, 39 hits, 4 homers, 13 walks, and 26 strikeouts. Morgan is 1 for 2. He has walked twice, singled, and scored. The Reds need 4 to tie and 5 to go ahead. Taylor. Morgan's running, and Taylor makes the error. That's his second one today. And Morgan, oh my goodness gracious. Billy Martin just ate a cigarette. That brings up Rose, his 3-run homer in the 5th. Made this a 3-run game. Hiller throws to first, and Morgan's back. Now he'll work on Peter Edward. Morgan stays. This might be 2. Taylor, Brinkman for 1, and Rose will get to first, but they get the speedy Morgan. 1 out. For Johnny Bench, who's 2 for 4. He's got a single and a solo homer. Hiller throws to first, and Rose is back. So now a double play ends the ballgame. Hiller deals. Struck him out. And the Reds are down to their last chance saloon. A 1-2 fastball got him swinging. And so it's Tony Perez, not an easy customer at all. 1 for 4, a double and a strikeout. What Rose does now is pretty much irrelevant. It's Hiller versus Perez. John gets the sign, goes home, and Perez walks. The band plays on. For Bobby Tolan. Lefty versus lefty, and Tolan hits lefties pretty well. He is 1 for 2. He has singled, walked, and been hit by a pitch. He is not the tying run. That's Menke on deck. Hiller, deep breath. Struck him out, and the Tigers win by the score of 9-5, and they lead the series 3-0. My goodness gracious. 3 hours and 15 minutes it took. 9 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors, and the Tigers left on 8. The Reds, 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors, and they left on 9. Rodriguez, his 3-run homer in the first chased Ross Grimsley and have now forced the Reds to win 4 straight. The win goes to Woody Fryman. 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, the 2 homers. He walked 2 and struck out 2. Grimsley is already back on a plane to Cincinnati after that. My pleasure. Simpson, Gullett, 3 scoreless innings. And McLaughlin Well, the game was pretty much over at that point. Noon tomorrow Eastern, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. See if the Tigers could wrap this one up. The final score in Game 3. You wanted runs, you got runs. 9-5 Detroit. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.